Nancy. Thanks for meeting me on the beach today. Or really, rather, it's I meet you on the beach because you're the beach goer.
Yeah, that's right. I've been coming to the beach for like a year now.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that's
every
awesome.
morning at 5 a.m.
So Nancy, I was wondering if you could tell me who you are, what you do, and how we know each other.
Okay, so I am a graphic designer slash photographer, creative director, I guess I would like to say now, because I wear hats in all different spots or areas in graphic design. So yeah, and we met at Oscura because you were hosting mini shoots for the markets that they host there.
Yep, the Friendly City Flea.
Yeah, but I had originally found you through Instagram.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that always the way?
Yeah.
I know. We had kind of talked online for a while before I actually saw you in person.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had just found you because I really liked your work. I was looking for my people, so I was looking for graphic designers, photographers, people that I had things that I can relate with. And your work just kind of stood out more than anything because it was different. It was a contrast to what people were doing here. Your typical beach photo or you're getting married and it's an aesthetic, but you came in with a purpose and I saw that and I knew I wanted to connect with you because of that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we are, of course, in the great state of Florida. If you can't tell by the beach, now you know. I know that you and I have talked a lot about how we're both nostalgic about our adolescence. So I was wondering what brands or toys or relics you remember most fondly from that time.
Oh, man. I gotta say Lisa Frank. She was so colorful. And it was a oddly very conceptual, like dolphins.
It really was, yeah.
Dolphins flying in the sky. Like it was just so dreamy and imaginative. Like it kind of always built my curiosity as a kid when I looked at it. I couldn't make sense of like why was there palm trees and clouds and things like that. She just had a crazy mind. And honestly, I think there's a documentary of hers. I have not watched it yet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but I need to see it. Because I think her business grew really fast and it was kind of hard to maintain that. But I really love
Yeah, I mean,
the glitter.
everybody had it. You want to talk about like everywhere. It was on every sticker. Like we're talking about notebooks in school. Everyone had a Lisa Frank like notepad, something.
Pencils. She product everywhere in any kind of aesthetic piece that you can think of. And she really catered to us kids and really explored our imaginations and stuff like that. So I really admire that as a kid. I was really fascinated by toys. I loved color in toys. One product that really stands out, which is maybe relevant or not, but it's called a hip clip. So it was this little cassette, I guess you'd call it, or USB at that time. And it played one song. And it's not even a full song.
Yep.
It was like 30 seconds, if max.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I was really drawn to that. I thought it was the coolest invention.
It was. I mean, we were living it up with those, Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at that time we were all torrenting music illegally. And I thought, like, this was a cool alternative for someone that, like, doesn't want to do that all the way. I mean, we were kind of all doing that, but, like, yeah, it was just a really cool toy. I love the chorus of songs. I don't know why. That's, like, my favorite part of the song.
Yeah.
So this little USB like just hosted the perfect little chorus of every song that I liked.
Can I ask you what songs you had on there that you remember?
Oh, I don't want to say. They were definitely really poppy.
Oh, why not?
Backstreet Boys,
Girl,
Britney Spears.
Of course, you have to. Yes. That's so fun. Would you ever like, because that was a little past my time. I probably could have had one, but I just kind of missed the boat. But most people I know around me also really love that. But would you like listen on the bus with other kids? Like what was the culture around that? Was that something you shared a lot with other people or was it just kind of for yourself?
It was kind of for myself.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I gotta be honest, I didn't grow up really wealthy, like, and a lot of us like didn't have the luxury to buy a hip clip. Like,
right.
I think the one time we all got exposed to it was when McDonald's did their collab with them, and that was an affordable way for us to get a hip clip because the other resource of it was to go to Target and buy for $30 or something, or maybe it was $20. But like for me to get
So
$20,
back then, that's like $50.
and
Yeah.
then you have to explain to your parents like what this thing is, and they're like, "No, I'm not buying you that." I'm like,
You're
"Damn
like,
it."
have you tried the radio? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like they wouldn't get it. They
Yeah.
wouldn't get the cool little tiny pieces of it
Yeah.
and stuff.
Well, I think too, what adults very soon forget about children is that we don't have a lot of choice. So to have something in your hand that you own, that's like, especially that's like a part of culture that at that time of our lives is so important to like connect with others. It's a huge deal to have your own music. It just feels
Yeah.
fucking cool.
It does. It's like the soundtrack of our lives
Yeah.
because we're just beginning the very first steps, you know, of our youth. So it's
Yeah.
really a big
Yeah.
important part of us.
Yeah, and if you think that's dumb, try watching any movie without a soundtrack and see how good it is, okay?
No.
It's not as
It's not
good, all right? There's
And
a
you can
reason.
tell when some play some terrible music that doesn't align with it.
Yeah.
And you're like, why did they
It
do
ruins the
that?
vibe. Yeah, we don't want to do that. We want the vibe to be good. All right. Yeah, well, Britney Spears is in there on lock. Everybody, I think. She had a chokehold on everybody, too.
Yeah.
But I digress. I was wondering then, how does the past influence your creative design work and aesthetic today?
Well, touching up on that, like you guys said, the toys and stuff, like whether it was a McDonald's toy or something that was new and bright, like I was really influenced by that. And you'd be surprised to know that I still collect toys till this day. Like I'm very keen on like still buying toys, having them. I have a huge shelf full of toys. And that's because I'm just so influenced by what had influenced me back then as a kid. I think it's that nostalgic piece of it that brings me back to my youth, those good times that I remember, and that's why I like to incorporate that into my design now.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And it's funny too because I've seen pictures of you in the past, and you weren't necessarily like wearing a hot pink,
No.
sweatshirt or something. Like there, we were talking a little darker, a little more like punk rock aesthetic. So it is funny because I've seen other creative people in the past too. Like they kind of found the same trajectory where everything is like dark and moody and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden they're taking photos, and you're like, whoa, where's this pop of like color coming from? And you just don't know what people experience and what they gravitate towards,
I think as designers, we're all trying to like figure out our path, and a lot of us start very rebellious.
Well,
So I mean, that's where the black comes, and you want to be dark, and you want to be mysterious. But once you really start developing who you are and what purpose you have, like you start figuring out, hey, like my favorite color is red.
Yeah.
And I like the sun, and I like to be out, or you know, stuff like that. Or you get influenced by different places.
Yeah.
For me, it really was Florida.
Yeah, as it was for me. Yeah. The embrace of color has been really exciting because while I haven't lost like the dark and moodiness of what I do, it now stands out a little bit differently. And I don't know, I'm happy, right? Like that's what you want to do. You want to look at it and be excited about what you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I really have to say that color brings happiness. To some extent, I think living a more colorful life, like I'm not saying my home is super colorful. I do need a neutral space to like decompress the colors, but I feel a lot happier wearing bright colors. Like this is really abnormal for me right now.
I love it. It suits you though too.
Yeah, and I'm happy in it. So yeah, forget the black.
Forget the black. All right. Okay, drop it. Anyways, you didn't start your career in graphic design, so could you tell me about a past career maybe that taught you any valuable lessons?
Yeah, sure. So I was a cake decorator before I even thought of doing graphic design. I initially did get my degree in photography, but with maybe the way our stigma and everything is, like, I really didn't think there was a career in that. And I didn't know what path I was going to take, and always heard in the back of my head, there's no money in art. It's a misconception. There's so much money in art. In advertisement and marketing and branding, all kinds of stuff. There's money. And I didn't know that. So I was like, I need to do something creative. I'm going to do cake decorating. It taught me obviously how to handle things under pressure.
Right.
And how to be creative under pressure. Leadership, and just having that community of people that like really understand the passion and creativity that goes into creating something. And then obviously looking at the consumer, which was at that time the customer, whether they liked it or didn't. I mean, it was to the finest detail of like, are these mango pieces too big, and is somebody gonna choke on them?
Yeah. Right.
And it's like,
Why do
well,
I care
people
about
don't
mangoes
bite.
so much all of a sudden? Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then obviously the work culture there was really tough. Viennese people work really hard.
Yeah.
They're very, very stern about how their work ethic is, and they really apply that inside their businesses. So I did work for a Viennese family. They own a chain of bakeries throughout California now. They
Yeah.
might
Wow.
even be extending out.
Wow.
Yeah. I think there was still some intuition within me saying, like, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
still felt really confused. It was really easy for me to up and leave that job and move somewhere and just start a new life.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you got what you needed from it, it sounds like. So, and
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that. And I think a lot of people, especially if you kind of know that you want to do something different or you have this pull, maybe you don't know what it is, but you know, maybe whatever you're doing is not for you. Like, there is a season for everything, man. And if any of us are lucky enough to live a full life, like, it changes day by day, year by year, and those lessons will teach you something as you go.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
and honestly, you know, if you need to get that bag, you got to get them bags so you could do what you want to. So that's totally cool. So when was it that you first considered graphic design as a job then?
You know, you'd be surprised. I didn't consider graphic design as a career. It kind of landed on my lap. I think I've always observed, design growing up and anything, going to the grocery store and looking at packaging, looking at fonts and stuff, but I never really thought about it more. I just like, oh, that looks really pretty. But just landed on my lap after the cake stuff. I was out for like 2 years. I didn't work. I mean, I worked, but it wasn't anything like in my field. Like, I worked at an ice cream shop and at a boutique hotel just to stay afloat and make money and just get out of my house. But it wasn't like anything I was passionate about. It was a job. And somehow my husband's coworker had offered him a side gig, and it happened to be like a social media content creator for a podcast TV series that was developing by Cheech and Chong. So,
By the way, I was Googling that last night. You know, the first thing that popped up is this April 25th, I think it was. They have like a documentary series now
yeah,
out
they
together and it's
do.
called like The Final Ride or something. I was like, holy shit,
Mhm.
now I need to watch that. But that is so random. I mean, talk about you are from originally which state now?
California.
California. So there we
Yeah.
go. That's where that comes from. But anyways, you
Mhm.
were saying, so you got this job as
I
a
got
social media person.
Yeah, social media content creator. I helped with a few other things. So their idea was to like put TVs in all dispensaries and really curate what was going on those TVs. So whether it was like a quiz of cannabis or something related into that sense, we were creating it. Like, I was creating it.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun, and I didn't really think that like it was a big deal at that point. It was just something that I was doing, but like it happened to be a big deal within the cannabis industry.
Right.
Yeah. I wasn't really big on cannabis. It wasn't until I started that career and I really learned like, oh wait, like Cheech and Chong are kind of a big deal.
Just a little bit, yeah.
It's like I've known of them, of course, but it wasn't like something that I was like, tiring to or like
Yeah,
really
right.
excited about.
Right.
So it was in my life culture. But yeah, I got hired even after that job to do other stuff related based on that hire because
So
it was such a
cool.
cool name.
Yeah, right.
So yeah.
Yeah, great resume builder. Hey, you
Yeah.
know, taught you a lot about social media, which is
It
ever
did.
changing.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. It was so much easier back
Well,
then.
I was gonna ask, what was it like back then to do it? Because we know it's a
Oh,
full-time job now, but
yeah, it was really focused on really developing what was happening in the culture time at that point. So like if it was Obama's birthday, like we were all going to celebrate that. And we were going to showcase it online, we were going to make posts, stories and everything about it. So we really
right.
focused on
Stuff that people could share.
exactly things
Yeah.
that were relatable and not so much about what we were doing yet because we were still developing what that concept was looking like. So it was really just connecting with the people.
That's so cool. Yeah, I mean, what a connection to what you do now, which is so funny. So I was wondering, since you launched Nancy Creative Design during the pandemic, how has your business changed from then to what its current form is now?
Wow, it's changed a lot. It has, and it's been 3 years now. It was a mess when I started, and I gotta say, it's still a mess. But it's a different kind of mess.
Yeah.
It's a more evolved mess for sure. I was really, let's say, I was really undermining myself of like whether I was a designer or not. I was dealing with a lot of imposter syndrome, and it was really heavy because I really questioned and doubted whether I was good at what I did, and I just kept getting validation from everybody. Like everything just felt right, and it evolved from that. Like, yeah, of course I had to say yes to a lot of stuff that didn't feel aligned to
Yeah,
me
I mean,
in the
yeah, part of the
beginning.
game,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's part of the process. And it's funny because you really get to learn your clientele. You get to learn how to interact with them and how they possibly might respond to certain things. And I've come to realize that in my business, I want to come full authentic to myself. Like, I want to be myself. And if you just don't like me because of me, then like we're probably just not meant to work together.
Right, yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, who would want to do that? Like hire someone that they're like, actually, no, we don't like you, but let me just give you money. Like that doesn't really make
That
sense.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't make any sense for me. Like, if I don't like you, like, I don't want to waste my time on you either. Like,
Well, the motivation is way down in designing
yeah,
that, you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't like you, it's that if you don't come with a strategic plan or a dream or a vision, like it's really hard for me to guide you and help you through that. If there's no passion behind what you're doing, then like,
Yeah, you can't care more than the client does about their
exactly.
work. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I know that purpose and intentionality are a big part of what your process is. So could you tell us what this looks like in practice with your clientele? Like if someone was to come to you and you wanted to be more intentional and purpose driven, what does that look like?
Well, I ask a lot of questions. I dig deep. Like, we're getting into like your values, what you value as a human. Like, I really want to understand that because that message needs to come across through your brand. We're not just creating something that looks pretty or it's on trend. Like, it has to make sense. It has to have meaning behind what the brand is because that's what's going to make it timeless. Like, if it's just a trendy thing, it's a trend. Like,
Yeah.
it'll fade, it'll
Yeah.
go out. So I am I purposely like ask a lot of questions. I really hone in on their values, what they appreciate about what the path they're taking, and really apply that visually into a way that they are proud to show it to the world. Like, there's a lot of people that like, oh, my aunt did this, and or my cousin did it for me, but they're not really excited about it. And that's because there's no strategy behind it.
Yeah.
And that's where that comes from. Like, you really have to understand the strategy purposely to create and develop a brand.
Right, yeah. Because, yeah, I mean, again, like if you, let's say, ask your aunt or your nephew or something like that to create this for you, it might be a time in your business where you are also figuring stuff out. But if you really want to invest in what you're doing, you should feel connected to who that person is. Which brings me to my next question, which is, as someone who comes from an industry where there's a lot of horror stories on how someone designed like a website and dropped the person or never got back to them, and you just hear a lot of really crazy stories with graphic designers that are really not living up to what they're supposed to be doing. So if someone is looking for a designer or brand strategist or brand recognition person, what should they look for? And conversely, what are some red flags to be mindful of?
Yeah. Something you should look for is someone that is looking for the best intentions for you and your business. Someone that's intentional, that isn't just coming to do a job and finish it. Like, even for photos, like, I wouldn't hire someone that wasn't intentional with the process of why they're shooting me a certain way. Like, why are they posing me like this? What is the meaning behind this? Like, it has to be all meaningful to some extent. Like, I really, really strongly believe that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So what would be some red flags then that someone would be like, oh, I don't know if I should go with them. Like they seem nice on paper, but
Yeah, if you look at their portfolio and it's perfect, it looks the part, but they really make you feel like they're just checking you off a project list. It's probably not the best investment for you because they're not really looking for your intentions or for a real behind strategy of what the work is or what the photo is. So it's probably going to be something you're not going to utilize well. So it's like, why invest in somebody that's just checking you off a list? Unless, like, like, I want that aesthetic.
Yeah.
I that's exactly what I need. Like, for instance, we're on vacation or something, like, I want this vacation photo. And that person does that. Okay, there's no strategy behind it, which is fine. But like, when it comes to businesses, there's strategy behind every little bit, like every symbol, every illustration, even the font. Like, of course the font has a feeling to it. So
well, especially brand recognition. I mean, when you think of McDonald's, you know what the M looks like, you know, and when you want to think of Nancy Creative Designs, you want something to come to mind. And while it seems small, like if someone doesn't remember you online, there's so much out there, so it's like you have to stick out even more. So
it's tough to stick out more, but I think sticking out is not as difficult as we think it is. It's really about understanding who you are. Like, if you just show up as who you are, no one is out there like you. Like, so there's not going to be another person that is creating something exactly the same if you're showing up authentically. So there's no competition. So just show up who you are. You got to know who you are first, of course. There's a lot of people that don't, and I was one of those.
Right.
For sure.
It's
Like,
we're all in
we're
that.
all, and
Or
even
we
if
all go through that.
we all go through that in our 20s, we're trying to figure out who we are, what's our passions, what's our direction. So yeah.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And two, I mean, if you're at a place where you're like, I don't know what I want, or like, you know, like I was going to say earlier, you need to trust your gut on if you think someone's a good fit for you. But what if you don't know what your gut is saying? It's like maybe you need to take a step back and figure out what you want more before you continue with that, you know? Because if you don't even know what direction you're going in, you're gonna waste your money. You're gonna waste your money on something because it's not gonna suit you.
The client will waste their money, and I really take into heart to not do that. Like, if I feel like I'm not a right fit, or if I feel like it's not exactly what they need, but they say they need it, I will definitely be the one to tell you. And that, I think, shows good initiative, because there's some people that'll just go like, yeah, if that's what you want, sure, but there's no strategy. They're just going with whatever they tell them to do. And I'm really here to like listen, but help you and guide you with my expertise, like how things should be laid out and how things should look.
That makes sense. Okay, so Nancy, what should more people know about graphic design that maybe they're not aware of?
First, graphic design's everywhere. Like, I think we don't take that into account as much. It's really like everywhere. Like,
where?
When you go brush your teeth, you're looking at toothpaste, branding. Everything in your home is branded to some extent, or it has an aesthetic, or you're bringing a style to it. So it's hard to not avoid it.
Yeah, I mean, too, it's especially in America, like that is something where our stores are bigger than places in Europe. Like everywhere you go down a suburb, there is advertisements all around you. And a lot of the clothes we wear, especially in adolescence, hey, you have name brands across your shirt. Like it is just kind of in your face whether you want it to or not.
Yeah, it is. And I gotta say, I'm thankful that we have that, you know, because there's other countries that like they're just clean slates. Like, there's absolutely no advertising, and advertising is illegal. And it's kind of interesting to see a world without marketing. It's a little bland and sad. So we're very fortunate to have that here, to be able to design however we feel. It's almost like a freedom of expression through design. So we can create an aesthetic that is really edgy, and nobody's going to tell us like, well, obviously society will be like, what are you doing? But you do whatever you want. So it's exciting to know that design is everywhere, and I think nobody really takes into account how it is everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I think something that's probably pretty relatable is if you're, let's say, going over to a dinner party and you want to bring like a bottle of wine or some alcohol with you or something that bubbly, right? You will often hear someone say when they arrive, I picked this based on the design on the bottle. It was just so nice, I couldn't say no. And it doesn't matter how the wine or bottle or whatever tastes, like at least you got this nice bottle, you know? It attracts a certain type of person.
I gotta admit, I love that person because
Yeah.
at least they come in with a bottle of wine, right?
Yeah.
And they're attracted by something rather than coming in and be like, I got the Sauvignon Blanc because it's like this, which is awesome too. But
Yeah.
it's interesting to find people that don't even see design. So when people do approach it in those basic things like a bottle of wine, it's pretty admiring to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
It's
you know,
helpful.
I want to be pretty. I want to look at nice
you
things.
Like pretty things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you want to surround yourself by nice things.
Yeah. And I would love now to talk about Design Jam. So I was wondering if you could tell us what is it and why did you start it?
All right. What is it? It is a community for sure. It's a community of designers, whether it's graphic designers, social media content designers, or or photographers. We all come together to really just be open with each other through our highs and our lows in our business, and share those things to help each other, to elevate each other. It's a huge part of how I've elevated my business alone, and my voice. I don't feel like I had a voice before I had Design Jam. I really felt like I was missing out on my people. Like I needed to surround myself around people that would lift me up and that would make me feel confident in what I was doing, because I was really struggling with that. Like I really did. I felt confused. I felt like I didn't have a path, or I was trying to make a path, but it just felt hazy. And when I finally surrounded myself around these amazing, talented designers, I felt like I wasn't alone. Like they're just as confused as I am, but they're still striving. They're still going. And it gave me the courage to do the same thing. And to see how confident a lot of these girls came in, and it gave me that boost that I needed to, because I definitely was this shy. I know I was a little intimidated by like big designers and stuff like that too, but I kind of just let go of that fear. I needed to surround myself by a community that could really help me shine.
Yeah. What I appreciate about what you did specifically is we are in like an in-between town, right? So we have Sarasota below us, Lakewood Ranch out like beyond us, and then Tampa and St. Pete above us. And I don't think people understand quite how many small businesses there really are down here. It is popping off right now.
It is taking off. There's small businesses everywhere. And if not, they're elevating their businesses because they're growing so much and they're expanding.
And yes, exactly. And the thing that I really appreciate is you're not the first one to make like a group, right, to get together, but it was more pointed with it being more graphic design based. And again, it's more of an in-between town where it's like, well, like what if we can't make it out to Lakewood Ranch, or what if we just wanted people in our communities that were right next door? Like, is there anybody here? And you reached out, you started it, and I asked if I could just come, even though I was just a photographer at the time. Like I was trying to build my own website, which was so overwhelming, but I was starting to enjoy it, and I was like, well, maybe they have something to teach me, and goddamn, you did, you know? The community has been so helpful, and something I really appreciate too is seeing over the years, especially with women, it's kind of like, well, it's either you or me, and now... and that's you can find that anywhere with men and women, right? There's always going to be a group where it kind of feels like a hierarchy, and there it felt very much more like a matriarchy where we're all helping each other. We can say things that worked, we can say things that didn't without the judgment of it, and yeah, if you need help, like there's probably someone in the group there that will help you.
I gotta say though, it wasn't like a piece of cake to put together this group. Okay, I really met with individually every single girl and really got to know them in a deeper level, and their business, of course. And I really tried to understand, were they willing to be open about their business and willing to share? Because I did come across a lot of people that felt so sure about what they were doing but didn't want to share. And I knew that those weren't
That's
the people for the
interesting.
group.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was very selective of who's invited, and it's still very curated, even to the point of like where somebody sits.
Yeah.
I really think through of like who I'm sitting next to each other, because I know that they're going to click or they're going to relate, and they haven't met each other yet, or they have something similar in common, because I know almost everything about each individual person that goes to the group.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Can I ask you to give kind of like an elevator pitch of why, if someone is like, well, why would I share anything of what I do? What would you say is the benefit of that? Why should someone share? Why share?
Why not share, damn it? Like, why are you being so stingy about what you've learned?
Yeah.
Like, if there's someone out there willing to listen and value what you have to share, like, that is such a meaningful and amazing feeling. I think that comes more better than you going on social media and just like, here are the 5 tips to do this and do that. Like, there's just so much more meaning than connecting with someone that actually like is going to value what you have, because they might just be starting off in their business and they're at a different point and you're at a different point, and your information is just as valuable as anybody else's. So I think it's important to share, and if you're stingy about sharing, it's because I don't know, honestly. You're
I think
just
that's
not
kind of like
curious and open, I guess.
it's the mindset of it, right?
Yeah.
You can either have a scarcity mindset of like, oh my God, if I give this away, then I'll have nothing. But it's like, no, babe, if you are doing something that's aligned with what you have, even if you are emptying that basket, it's going to fill back up.
Yeah.
As long as you're taking care of yourself, obviously.
Exactly.
Like, don't do it at the expense of what your job is. But
and like I was
there's
saying,
always more to give.
What I was saying too is like, everybody's different. We're all if we're all showing up authentically, like, we're not copying each other.
Yeah, right.
And that's what was interesting, to have a group of all designers, because I was really worried about that to some extent. I was
Right,
like,
it can get a little crowded and feel a little
but
tight.
Ironically, it was completely the opposite of what I thought. They all ended up helping each other out in a whole other level.
Yeah.
Where like if they had a client they couldn't take on, they'd pass it along. So I didn't even expect that.
Yeah.
I didn't expect for them to do that. I didn't expect for me to hire some of the girls out myself for personal projects, but I have. And I think collaboration is just so freaking awesome, and why not do it if you have the opportunity to do it?
Especially if maybe in our daily lives, like, we're working by ourselves from home and we don't have those collaborations, so we don't know who to trust or talk to.
Exactly.
Like, now is an opportunity to go out and find who that community is, and you've done that.
I think as a freelancer, you have to do that.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Okay, so by this episode's air date, you will be moved back to New York City after living there in, I believe, 2007. So what about the city calls you to it? You know, how does it feel like home for you?
It's the energy. It's really the energy. There's so much life there. Everybody feels like they show up authentically. We're not trying to like fit into somebody else's shoe to get someone to like us. Like, you feel like you can show up as who you are, and you can feel everybody else doing the same. And I just love that energy. Like, I really love that energy. I'm not saying that, you know, I have struggled a little bit here, kind of finding my place. Where do I fit in and stuff? And when I'm in New York, I feel like I fit in anywhere.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, like, I just feel good, and I don't feel insecure about myself. I don't feel like I should second guess about me walking into a store because it seems so sophisticated. I was like, no, like, there's tourists, there's people all over the world that are coming here because they feel good about coming here. And I feel that energy. And maybe that's a downfall of feeling energies and stuff, because maybe sometimes you feel too much. I definitely do feel stuff here, like, this is a retirement state. Everybody comes to retire, everybody comes to relax. So I'm not in a relaxed state of my period of life. Like, my career's just taking off. So that's where the imbalance was. And I knew that there was a bigger calling. And I've always known, even since I was a kid, I've always known that I wanted to live in New York. And I did attempt to go in 2007.
You did do it. Yeah.
I did. I was 17. I had $500 to my name.
Woo!
That's it. And I I think I was really influenced by Home Alone as a kid.
As was I. Yeah, but I was.
You know what? It wasn't until I realized much later he was really filthy rich. And
oh yeah.
I couldn't live the lifestyle he had in New York.
Yeah, I mean the whole family went to France. You know, yeah, like, it just
But I really was influenced. I was like, I want to do what he does. Like, I want to be lost in the city. Like, I want to walk around Central Park. I want to be part of like something in Rockefeller. And you'd be really shocked. I actually did set out to do everything I hoped for. I did work at Rockefeller. I actually worked as a photographer.
Wow.
On the very top, and I did that for a little bit. And then I worked at Barnes and Noble at Starbucks for like most of my time there, and that was on Fifth Avenue too. I think I got looked at funny because I lived in Queens at that time. It's like, why are you traveling all the way to Manhattan to work and stuff? I was like, because that was what I envisioned myself to do.
Yeah.
And I did it.
Yeah.
I ended up having to leave because let me tell you, when you don't have health insurance and you get sick somewhere that's not home, it gets really pricey.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and I did end up getting sick. I just naturally have like stomach issues and stuff growing up. Probably just
hey, you know, relatable here. Exactly. I get it.
Yeah, I just have a bad gut. So it got really serious up there and I had to come back home. I had ambitions to go back, but I don't know, I just got caught up with life. I ended up signing up for school and I went to college. I did my 4 years. And I think I've always had that ambition in the back of my mind. It's like, I'm going to go back someday. I just don't know when. Yeah.
And here we are. We're at the when. So, yeah. And I know like a lot of people are like, oh, I'm so sad to see Nancy go. And rightfully so, like we all are. Yeah. But
I'm really sad about it. But I think as well as that, like, people will see that what brings me happiness is probably a little bit more bigger than like me staying, just because people want to see me happy. I mean, like, you know, like, yeah,
right. Well, I know that when you announced it about last week, I believe, and you kind of wrote out, and maybe I'll put something up here, I don't know. But something I found interesting is you're like, I did it. Like, you know, I got married, I started the career, I came to a different state, and I settled down in a house, I have a dog, like I have all the things that everybody would say, like, oh, that's the American dream, right?
I really think that before I came to Florida, I was living in downtown Long Beach, California, 1 block away from Ocean Avenue. Small, tiny little studio, but I was living in the city. And I was always brought up in the city. So I thought slowing down was the right next big step. And it was for the time. I did need to slow down. And I think the pandemic showed that to a lot of us, that we did need to slow down. But once I achieved everything that I had been set out to, like get the house, like have the dog, and obviously have kids and stuff, and that was the thought. But I got the house, I got the yard, I got the dog, I got the job, and I just still didn't feel full. Like something felt internally missing within me. And it took a long time to figure what that was, and it was a lot of meditation, I gotta say, even part of me didn't want to face it. I worked 15-hour marathons because I was trying to avoid this heaviness that I was feeling. But it just got louder and so much louder.
And the thing about the internal voice is when you're trying to ignore it, sometimes it just gets more annoying. So exactly. And louder and louder and louder. Until you can't ignore it anymore.
I couldn't. And I had already gone out 3 times this year.
To New York.
So I was like, well, that's got to be a sign. And on top of that, I do want to mention, this is kind of spooky, but I had never done a vision board in my life. This was my first year doing a vision board. I don't know why, but I added I love New York on it. And it was a receipt, actually, that just had written I love New York forever and always. And here I am, like, oh my gosh, like I'm that was a part of my vision board, and it's like coming true.
Oh, I'm so proud.
I know, like I'm getting the chills.
Yeah.
Like, you guys make a vision board. Like,
yeah.
I wish I would have made a vision board way before, and I'm definitely excited to make one next, the following year and the year after that to keep putting those intentions out there.
Right. Well, where your focus goes, there goes your life also, I guess, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So it makes a lot of sense. So now that we've kind of come to the end of this, I was wondering if you had the chance to meet up with teenage Nancy from New York City at that time, what gift from the future would you bring her?
My courage.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah. I was thinking of a relic.
I was very insecure as a kid. I struggled a lot with every bit of myself, like how I looked, what I looked like, or what I said, or how I talked. And I know I had mentioned to you, like, I'm very insecure about my English. I know it sounds formal or it sounds fine, but like it wasn't my first language.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't really pick it up till I was 15. I did ASL really heavily. So yeah, it's a lot.
Which I think again is another thing that it's kind of like, well, we're all equal, right? Like now you've been here for a while, like it's you'll have the equal opportunity, or it's just so easy for you to get a job, blah blah blah. But I don't think people realize that on the inside there are still these boundaries and these hurdles that we all, not all of us, but that, you know, a first generation, second generation immigrant has to go through that we just take for granted.
Yeah, exactly. So I would definitely give her courage. I have so much courage now that I definitely didn't have as a kid. I have the ability to stand up for myself, set, expectations for myself, and really stand up for who I am and what I value. And I think younger self would really need that. So
honestly, I think about this not quite often, but enough. Like if I was a kid and I got to see like a 2-minute little reel of what I'm doing now with my life, I would be like, she is so cool.
Yes,
I'd be like, yes, like she's not ugly, you know, like, oh, she's got boobs finally, good for her, you know, and oh, she's doing what she does and she's not dumb. She knows things and she's going to figure out what she doesn't know. And she's just cool with being who she is now. And I think that's the most beautiful thing about age. If it,
and I keep remembering that every time I work or I do something that, for instance, I feel questionable about, like I feel insecure about, and I just remember young me would be super excited to see what I'm doing right now. Yeah. And I gotta keep remembering I'm doing it for that little girl.
Yeah, right. Yeah, don't do it for the other people that don't know you online. Do it for yourself.
Her happy.
Yeah. And I think you are. So to wrap this up, I was wondering if you could tell us what song you think everybody should listen to in their lifetime, or album, or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna say album, because every song in this album is absolutely one piece. It's called In a Safe Place. It's by the Album Leaf. I was absolutely obsessed with this guy when I was a kid. I tattooed myself with his symbol. It's just a big leaf. That album just takes you to a different place. It really makes you reflect on some really heavy stuff. It really depends on where you are in life too. Right. If you're going through heartbreak, you can relate with it. If you're going through, a loss, you can relate with it. If you're going through a change, you can relate with it. It's just really good music that really helps you reflect in whatever stage you are in your life. And also, it's all instrumental. There's very, very little lyrics.
I was listening to it last night, actually.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I was wondering if you put it on and stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. It's so amazing. It makes me feel so connected with myself, especially when I was a kid going through stuff. Now I listen to it when I meditate.
That's cool.
And I also can find myself sleeping to it because it's got a really soft, mellow sound to it that even your dreams could start forming into something based on the music.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah. All right, well, I think we've wrapped this into a nice little bow, I, again, cannot wait to see what goes on in New York City, and I think we're gonna see great things from you.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm excited.
It's just getting started.
It's just getting started.
All right, cool. All right, well, we're done. Awesome. You did it.
Yay.
Ah! Now we can get out of the sun.
All right, I hope I don't look like a weirdo.